Well, Jane, this is such an important visit for Keir Starmer. It's 8 years since a British Prime Minister came to China. The last one was Theresa May, and relations have soured somewhat in the intervening years. This, as you heard the Prime Minister talk about as he addressed that delegation, is a moment to have a reset. And he is not the only Western leader beating a path to Beijing. The Germans, the French, the Canadian, they are all looking to do more business with China. Why? Well, it's the second biggest economy in the world. And when it comes to the UK, it's the third biggest trading partner we have. It supports over 300,000 jobs back home in the UK. So for the Prime Minister, really, this is an attempt to try to deepen economic ties, to drum up business and to try and increase trade and investment and try to boost the economy. And you will hear him, no doubt, on this trip to keep talking about the cost of living and helping people back home. So that is the aim. And he said when he was talking to that delegation, we have to manage our differences and take opportunities when we can get them. So that's the kind of approach. But my goodness, there are challenges for him. The first is how tricky Trump will be about it. The US have made it clear they don't much like the mega embassy that has just had approval. And Trump, when Mark Carney came here about a week ago, the Canadian PM, did some trade deals. Trump responded by threatening 100% tariffs on China. So the Prime Minister has quite a delicate dance here to try and engage with President Xi and not upset President Trump. And when I asked him about that on the plane over, well, he swerved and he talked about the special relationship and his belief that he can do both. But it is clearly going to be tricky. On human rights, the plight of the Uyghurs, something that the Labour Party have long spoken about. What about also Jimmy Lai, the Hong Kong activist, pro-democracy activist, imprisoned? The Prime Minister was asked if he'd raise that on the plane. What about Putin, Ukraine, and the fact that the Chinese, will they press President Putin to stop the war? He was asked about that on the plane. And on all of those tricky issues, on all of those delicate matters, he said, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I will raise concerns. I will talk to you more about it after I've met with President Xi. And I think what that reflects is the fact that it is such a delicate negotiation. It's such an important bilateral meeting he will have tomorrow that he does not want to upset the apple cart or do anything that will cause any sort of friction ahead of tomorrow. But there will be questions. There'll be questions about national security and espionage. There'll be questions about what sort of critical infrastructure do we allow China to invest in, be that wind farms or nuclear energy. There will be a backlash at home over all of this. And of course, he comes here when there is a load of problems 5,000 miles away back in London. So he comes from one difficult diplomatic situation with Andy Burnham into another one here with President Xi.
Beth, thank you very much.